Today's his birthday.
Happy birthday, Chris.
So yeah, we're live streaming Mother's Day, May 12th, 2024. Here we are, my co-host, Bunny Bubbling Brown Sugar. And let me just start with my script here. I got a script I better stick with. That theme show was Lisa K. Dieter's music. Thank you very much, Lisa, for giving us that to keep playing. And Mitch is our sponsor. We're looking for more sponsors, but he is our sponsor right now. Mitch's Best Buffalo Sauce. And for our events, we do serve some of that stuff. Welcome to our podcast. It's a weekly live streaming podcast, and we also archive it on YouTube and a few other places. So wherever you get yours, you probably could find this one. We are broadcasting on Duwamish land in Seattle's Georgetown area from the lab, the little auditorium in the back at 1010 South Bailey at Seattle Drum School of Music. Chandler, I think I'm a little hot. Can you turn that down a little for me? Okay, thanks. We recognize and thank the Duwamish tribe for taking care of this land for centuries, for generations. It's time for a rent party, I do believe.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we got to start planning that. So yeah, we do have a great show planned today. And where did I go? Oh yeah. Today, we focus on the mothers of the blues who truly gave birth to this genre that we focus on.
Yes,
It
exactly.
defines freedom in America, this blues stuff. And we'll focus on guitarist and vocalist Memphis Minnie, plus we'll take a moment for Gertrude Ma Rainey.
Ma Rainey.
A couple of women. There's so many, we can't cover more than a couple in one show, and even that's short. But you can look it up. You got your computer right there in your hand, so we'll just light the flame and let you take it from there, all right? We're going to do a moment for blues prevention. We're going to do a bathroom review and the Blues to Do calendar. And I had a couple reasons of the week for the blues. My co-host is the newest member of the Black Radio Hall of Fame, Bunny Bubbling Brown Sugar. Thank you very much for coming in.
Yes, my pleasure.
This is a weekly experiment, and we appreciate your input, your feedback. Let us know how we're doing. We got a new website, blues2do.org. It's a work in progress. I'm trying to get all my old content up there, all the Blues to Do TV shows, the monthly newspaper I used to publish, my past radio shows on KPLU, KCMU, KEXP, KMTT. I got a bunch of letters, plus
Right.
interviews and podcasts that we've been doing here at the Seattle Drum School, bathroom reviews. We're going to archive all of that at our new website, blues2do.org. But we need some help. If you want to be a sponsor, please consider that. And we're going to have a photo gallery. Boy, I got some photos. I was looking at Pine Top. Oh, I got so many great photos, me and blues people. I'm sure you do too, Bunny.
Yes, I do.
So blues prevention. Let's do some blues prevention before we get to covering the women, which I'm going to talk about. I don't read from a book very often because you can get your Kindle out and read any book you want. But it's kind of nice to have the hard copy in your hand. And this is one of my favorite books of late, Blues Legacies and Black Feminism by Angela Y. Davis. You can tell I've beat it up a little bit. It's a heady book. There's some intellectual stuff going on.
Angela Davis was a heavy person.
But she's still alive, and it's profound. There's so much wisdom in there, and she digs around where the men who have written about the blues don't. So she's we're gonna talk about this later.
Okay.
So blues prevention, how to get out of your own way. Where'd that go? Oh, it was just up there. Yeah, how to get out of your own way. We take this in small segments because it's a bit overwhelming, the whole list at once. You got that for me, Chandler? It's the how to get out of your own way. Part 3. We did the first 2 parts, and I don't have it memorized.
We did with Mitch, and then we did the other one with Johnny.
Yeah.
The first 2.
Right, you were here. And, there we go. How to get out of your own way. You can see I beat that up a little bit, too. So we did the first 3, and we did the second 3.
Yes.
So here, let's do these 3, and then we'll be done. No black and white thinking. In other words, it's a spectrum.
Yes.
There's gray in there.
Yes.
And don't take things personally. That's really
Oh,
important.
that's a hard one for me.
Because it's all about me.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm going to take it personally.
And if
whatever it is.
you're emotional,
Yeah.
you take a lot of things. If you're a sensitive person, you'll take a lot of things personally, and I need to work on that also.
We're all sensitive people.
Yes,
We're
yes.
all sensitive people. Come on. So
let's
don't disrespect the positive. In other words, it's not all negative, so don't disregard the positive. Focus on the positive, you get more of it. I think that was in a book
Yes.
somewhere.
Yes.
And then finally, don't be stopped by failure. And I like that one because, It's not about getting knocked off the horse. It's about
Nothing
getting
beats
back
a failure,
on.
but a try.
You got to get back on the horse. That's all that
Yes.
means.
Yes.
You know, there's so many great examples of blues women that have gotten back on the horse.
That's right.
And knocked down numerous times. So blues legacies, black feminism, and the Angela White Davis, she talks about Gertrude Ma Rainey. She talks about Bessie Smith. She talks about Billie Holiday. She barely mentioned Memphis Minnie. There's just so much to talk about. But she did mention Memphis Minnie, and I'll get into that in a moment. Well, might as well do the bathroom review, and then we'll do that Memphis Minnie. I'm looking forward to that Memphis Minnie, aren't I? Okay, a bathroom review for the Vermilion, and that was where we took Memphis Minnie's niece. Yeah, it's all connected here, isn't it? Yes, Bonnie McCoy, my new buddy, Bonnie McCoy, is the great niece of Memphis Minnie. And she sings, and she's got the mojo. She's got the mojo. She's got it. So we had her out here last month. We're going to get her out here again. But there she is, Memphis Minnie, and she was born June 3rd, 1897. Now put yourself in that era, 1897. And she played guitar. She was an American blues guitarist, vocalist, and songwriter. She was the only female blues artist considered a match to male contemporaries, both as a singer and an instrumentalist. She was active from the 20s to the 50s, and we've got some images. We want you to go check out some more Memphis Minnie. So that QR code, that'll get you to some of her music. Just keep going. The algorithms will send you down the right road after that. So, yeah, some great women. The guys that people told me to read when I started doing a blues show were Samuel Charters and Paul Oliver. Well, Angela gets in a little bit of an argument with the two of them in this book. Well, she says, look, they're kind of being patriarchal. They're looking at the blues from the perspective of a male, and it reeks of paternalism, is the quote. And they say there's really very little social protest in the blues, but there actually was a lot of social protest. Yes. And she gives credit to the fact that women had a reason to be protesting about the way they were treated. And this, this was a political period. It wasn't like there wasn't protest going on. This was right in the period where the Montgomery bus boycott happened. Yes. Okay, so they're writing books about the blues, but they're saying, oh, no, they don't protest. Well, they do. Yes. They do. And Angela Davis spoke to that in this book. And it's great to have the historical books from both Paul Oliver and Samuel Charters, but they're not the end-all, be-all. They're not the final word, yes. and women really did play a part. No, they planted the seed. I mean, Bessie Smith was out there recording, and that was the first blues record that made money for Columbia Records. So they went, and they sat up and said, let's make some more of those. Yes. But it was women that were doing it. So I'll just read one paragraph, and this is it's a section of a book on blues poetry by a guy named Paul Garand. Blues and the Poetic Spirit is the name of the book. And it's a section entitled Liberation of Women. And quoting the lyrics of songs recorded by such blueswomen as Ida Cox, Victoria Spivey or Spivey, depending on who you speak to, Sarah Martin, more of a gospel person, and Memphis Minnie, but interestingly, none by Ma Rainey or Bessie Smith. Garand argues if there is implicit in the blues a feminist critique of society, linked to this is a broader critique of repressive civilization based not on any sex specificity, nor even on the peculiar position of the black in American culture, although the characteristic is very likely the major force from which blues draws its unique perspective as well as its specific form. So the blues came from women is what she's saying. Yes. And I just think this is some powerful stuff. I'm not going to keep reading from the book, but I do recommend it. Blues Legacies and Black Feminism from Angela Y. Davis. Talking about Memphis Minnie and Ma Rainey. What you got about Ma Rainey?
Ma Rainey. No, her real name was Gertrude, So, and then she became Ma because she married Pa Rainey. But her life was spectacular. There's so many movies already about Ma Rainey. Viola Davis played her. Monique played her. Whoopi Goldberg even played her back in the day. But her life was just ups and downs. And the thing about it, her blues were mainly focused on women sexuality, lesbianism, you know. And she would say things like, she made the one quote, like, since you're doing quotes, if I can find it right quick.
Yeah,
One of her songs was "Prove It on Me." Now that's what Angela Davis speaks of. That is like the anthem of lesbianism back in 18.
And not just lesbianism, but taking ownership of their sexuality.
of
It's
your
like,
sexuality.
it's my sexuality, and I am in charge of my own body.
Yes,
And that's
yes.
bodily autonomy, and we're talking about that whole
Yes.
issue right now.
Yes.
In
But
many
it
ways.
went like this. They said I do it. Ain't nobody caught me. Sure got to prove it on me. When I went out last night with the crowd of my friends, they must have been women because I do not do men. Can you imagine that in a song, how men would take that, you know?
Right.
And then she would sit at the bar dressed as a man in a suit with a tie just to see the crowd reaction when she hit stage.
Right.
You know, so she was phenomenal, and she was outspoken back in the day, and they named her Mother of the Blues because of her moaning when she sung. She really felt blue. So that would be my Lady of the Blues for Mother's Day.
Nice. I love it. Yeah, and really taking inspiration. You know, these women never got any kind of mainstream airplay. Okay,
True that.
Never got the recognition when they were alive, but to know their story and to know that precludes all the hip hop stories, all the women that sang after them, the Ellas. I mean, Billie Holiday's mentioned here, but I mean the whole perspective.
Yes.
I just follow that lead. You know,
and like you were saying, she made money. Many made money for Columbia. Ma Rainey made money for Paramount at the time, was a record company.
Right.
And she did like 50 songs. But can you imagine going in the studio and doing 12 songs a day? It had to be grueling, you know, especially for her to remember and stay focused. And so women back then, they had to work a lot harder than the men to prove themselves in this industry, even though they were making more money, appearances-wise, than the men.
Right.
You know, and Ma Rainey, she did a gig with Louis Armstrong. She recorded with Louis Armstrong. So, you know, they were steadily moving up, and then came Betsy Smith, and it kept going and going and going till it could not be unrecognized.
And they were contemporaries, and yet the women were still kind of looked down upon.
Yes.
The men, you know, needed to be respected as black men in America.
Yes.
But it was like, yeah, but bring the women with you. Hold on. The women are part of this, and really instrumental part of this.
Yes.
Well, yeah, and you know, when you talk about the record companies, there's a part of this book where Angela Davis talks about the record companies saying, no, we don't want to record that song that you do live, Bessie, because it makes white people uncomfortable. Gee, does that sound like a familiar theme?
Yes.
We're banning books right now because they make white people uncomfortable.
Yes.
And it's like, wait, this is America.
Yes.
We don't ban books. We have freedom of thought. That's what my earrings represent.
Freedom of
thought
speech.
and freedom of speech.
Yes.
And if we don't have newspapers anymore, then each one of you are the journalists.
That's
and,
true.
And really, it
That's
is
true.
that way with the internet.
Yes.
You can
Yes.
look up anything. You can report on anything. We don't need to do this in depth because you can look it up and read further. All right, I want to do a brief mention for Mitch's Best Buffalo Sauce. We've got a jingle and an image, and we got the bottle of sauce right here. And we even have some chicken in the freezer, so we might even get it together after the show. If you're here, you get first nibbles. I did make cookies, fresh cookies, and I do that every week with coffee if you are part of the audience. So today is the second Sunday of the month, and that is when we actually have a party here and do a showcase. So Mojam is going to have a showcase here this afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah, look forward to that. They've been having some hella cool parties where they showcase drummer after drummer after drummer, and they're all young, but they all do different material, and it comes together beautifully. So if you'd like to play here, if you want to do your own performance for your own party, space, whatever, comedy, however you want to do it, a birthday party, a private party, you can do that. It is the Seattle Drum School. And yes, we are sponsored by Mitch's Best Buffalo Sauce here on Sundays for the podcast. And what do I got? Do I got that jingle? You start the jingle and I'll get out the way.
Mitch's Best Buffalo Sauce. Mitch's Best Buffalo Sauce.
Oh, I forgot my script.
Well, while we wait, let's say
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day to Heavenly Mother's Day, I think, for you and I. For my mom, Mary Ann Brown. She was big with ABC Records, like you were saying, people in music continue, someone in the family will continue to be involved in that. I don't happen to have any kids, you either. I think our careers came more.
Oh, I gave birth every month to a newspaper, so yeah, I had birthing
And I have a
pains.
dog. I have Sophie and Cole, and
Right.
yeah.
You got your chillins.
So we got our chillins.
Okay, with just the right heat and just the right bite, thank you for your patience, this rich and creamy sauce made with all real butter tastes great on everything except dessert, although some would argue. Handmade in small batches, it's made like a gourmet French sauce. It tastes great on any chicken dish, including wings. It's also great on any seafood, shrimp, roasted vegetables, and many other foods like
Barbecue
avocados,
ribs.
mac and cheese. Available locally at QFC, Metropolitan Markets, Hagen Markets, and most fine meat shops in the Puget Sound area. I just saw it at the Burien Meat Shop. You know the one I'm talking about. Order directly from Chef Mitch, the sauce boss, at mitchesfoods.com. And there's that sauce. We had a QR code up there. Oh, well, there is a QR code somewhere. I'm sure Chandler will show you that. Really appreciate your support, Mitch. Thank you once again. And we are booking summer workshops here at the Seattle Drum School right now, so if you want to get involved, you better. I mentioned I was in Burien. I was at Elmer's. Corey Wild hosts a Tuesday night jam there, open mic kind of thing. And then Burien Eagles the same night, right around the corner. So Burien, I like that. You're happening. I'll get you a bathroom review. It was more like a water closet, but but it worked, and it was clean. So yeah, I'll give you a review of that. Billy Shue is over there at the Burien Eagles every Tuesday, so that's just an update to our calendar. Did we do that bathroom review? I don't think I did,
you
huh?
did not do your
Oh, you want to bring that on, Chandler? I'm sorry, I'm out of order. Out of order? That sounds like a thing you'd say in court. We've been having a lot of court lately. Do you have a reason of the week for the blues, by the way?
My reason is simply missing moms. Who,
Yeah.
Mother's Day it's a celebration. It's an honor, to celebrate your mom. But many of us moms are gone.
Yeah.
And it can make it a sad day. I try to stay focused and stay positive. Like, oh, my mom was such a beautiful woman, and my mom did that. But inside, you have that loneliness when you see people at dinner, or you see a husband getting roses for his wife. It makes you think of your mom.
Well, now, what do you do to mitigate that? Do you okay, what would I do to make mom proud? I play music, so
I wrote a letter.
there you go.
I wrote a letter.
That's a good practice.
And when you write things down, it's a way of letting it out, releasing
Yep.
it.
Yep.
And everybody thinks their mom was the greatest,
Right.
But they had flaws. My mom was a very young girl when she had me, so we grew up together most of the years, So yeah, what's giving a lot of women the blues is Mother's Day without their moms.
Yeah. Or just realizing, that relationship and how mom did so much to help,
Yes.
and a lot of times
And
unrecognized.
you never recognize it when
Oh,
you're young. When you're older, you be like, wow, my mom sacrificed, gave up a lot of stuff, went through a lot of things for her children.
That's right. Well, and in that spirit, I want to give a shout out to Christy Smith, who is the matriarch of the Seattle Drum School.
Great.
And she's been going through some stuff lately, health-wise. So we just want to send out some love and healing energy to her.
Yes.
And make sure Steve stays strong. That's a
prayers.
tough one. She's our matriarch here, and incredible singer as well as a musician herself on her own. So. Let's see, what else we got? We got fun stuff to talk about. I'm going to actually play music this afternoon in honor of my mama.
Yes.
At the Nacho Mama
Nacho
Fry
Mama.
Bed Cafe, which is where I am every Thursday, just to kind of therapeutically get that out. Also to play some of the music that I love and to get better.
Yes.
And so far, I've had some great guests. Jeff Herzog was my first guest. He played harmonica. Oh, my goodness, I sounded so good. When he played harp, I sounded much better. Steve Peterson showed up, and He's a guitarist. He was
Yes,
part of our
yes,
88 Keys
yes,
crew.
yes, 88
and
Keys.
He was awesome. Whenever I needed a solo, I went, "Oh, your turn." So I just strum away on my ukulele. But yeah, it's a powerful experience to actually to do this music because I relate. I get more into the song. I know it better. It's sort of like a completely different and new relationship and healthier. This last week, by the way, Greg, Bernie, and Jim and their dog showed up, and Greg played flute, and I had so much fun. Oh my
Wow,
goodness!
how
He's
cool.
really good. So it was
How
terrific.
special. Yes.
So that's every Thursday at Nacho Mama's Fry Bread Cafe at about 5 or so, right there on Del Ridge. And I'll be there this afternoon. Sometime after this show, I'll show up and play some music and honor my mama.
Honor your mama.
Okay, so my reason of the week for the blues, actually, it ties into last week's show. John Hanford was my guest. He was awesome. We could talk for hours. He's got so many stories, and he thinks pretty fast. So even at his age, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, John. Just got to give him a hard time about that. But he is one of our elders, so
Yes.
give him respect in
Yes,
that regard.
yes.
So he turned me on to a song. He says, "Oh, Sly and the Family Stone did a song called 'Gonna Strike on Computers," and I thought, computers were even around when Sly Stone was doing. He was so far ahead of his time. So gonna strike on computers. Look it up. You can look it up on your Spotify's and all that. Because I had a hell of a week with my computer. I was trying to do a Google Doc thing, and it brought up emotional stuff about my mom, so I was just, I didn't realize how close I was to crying. But man, that Google Doc thing just pushed me over the edge. I was crying, and then as soon as I was crying, I was mad. So computers are not my friend. I don't like computers.
I don't
That was traumatic. I have a hard time going back to the computer after something like
Yes.
that. And I don't want Facebook deciding who my friends should be by some algorithm. That pisses me off. I want to meet my friends and connect with them and not have some computer involved. So yeah, take computers out of your life. That is my reason of the week for the
Yes.
blues.
You know, I
Go
really
ahead.
believe these young kids are born with some gene that we do not have. You know, I was afraid of the computer. I was actually afraid. I would sit there and go into a panic attack just trying to learn what to do.
You're not alone.
Yes.
And see, I shared this with people, and there was like, "Oh yeah, me too." Even young people were going, "Oh yeah, that Google Docs, it's not really easier." And so yeah, I'm not trying to diss anybody, any apps or any.
Yeah.
Don't take me wrong here. Please don't send me any algorithm. Oh no, oh AI just heard me say that. I'm sure. So yeah, we're all struggling with the same stuff. I want to mention some news, by the way. Kim Field is an author, harmonica player. Premier. He does promotions too. He did some stuff out there at the. He did a harmonica showcase at McMinimans in Tacoma. Well, his son writes comedy for Jimmy Kimmel. So sure enough, when Jimmy Kimmel was going to have Kim Fields, the actress, on his show, he brought in Kim Field, the father of one of his writers, Devin, and brought him in for a brief appearance. So you can check that out on YouTube.
Okay.
I'm going to try and get Kim Field here on our show, and he actually is doing some more harmonica showcase stuff coming up on our Blues to Do calendar. I will mention more, so stay tuned for that. We just have a few more minutes. How did that half an hour go so quickly?
Oh, we're having a good time. When you're having a good time with good people, time flies.
Amen. We have had some wonderful times here on Sundays at 1 o'clock, so you can check out all of our archived shows. And I'm looking for new guests, so I'm trying to get, so many wonderful
Yes.
people.
Yeah,
I've got.
we have good people coming up. They're on the way.
Brian Kirk teaches here, and he's a vibraphonist. He's got cool stories about Big Maybell, and so I really want to get him in here, but he's pretty
Yes.
busy. So he's a union
Yes.
vibraphonist. He's working.
Yeah.
Working man, Get yourself a working man, those blues women used to say. They used to sing about that. They still sing about that. Okay, so we got a little more time. I'm going to do the calendar. You got more you want to?
Well, I just wanted to mention, speaking of calendar, you have the Four Tops. They are coming to Jazz Alley. And I can't wait. That's one group I've never seen perform in person.
Four Tops.
Yes, the
Well,
Four
it's got to be
Tops.
different people, but still. the
Yeah,
material.
well, the songs, I can't help myself, Yeah, that reminds you of Mom dancing to the music, when they
That
were
was her
having
era.
a party. Yeah,
Right.
that was their era. And Jonathan Butler is coming this month, I know. Four Tops will be in August.
Jazz Alley.
Jazz Alley, yes.
They do some great shows at Jazz Alley, as always, and we already reviewed their bathroom. You can check that. Let's see. I got something on my calendar coming up at Jazz Alley. Monty Alexander's 80th birthday party at Jazz Alley, June 6th through the 9th. Now, he's a keyboard player, but and jazz is his focus, but he's gotten into the blues, so you will hear some blues that night. I guarantee
okay.
you will hear some blues. Also, Pearl Django will be here at Jazz Alley. I think they do an annual couple of nights there at July 2nd and 3rd. And I mentioned the Waterfront, I mentioned Kim Field. He's going to be playing the Waterfront Blues Festival in Portland right before the fireworks on the 4th of July. They're going to have a harmonica showcase. Kim Field, Steve Bailey, and Hank Shreve. You may not have heard of him, but all worth checking out. Kim Field, great harmonica player. Steve Bailey, energy times 10. He was on my show. Check that show out. He is an energy, and he's got a great new band. Lead singer joining him as well. So excited about what Steve Bailey's up to, and Hank Shreve. Okay, so I'm going to go on. Jazz Alley also features Greg Adams and East Bay Soul. That's a fun show. If you haven't seen that, annual shows here, 16 and 17 of July. Right before Winthrop. Winthrop Rhythm and Blues Festival is an annual. What year are they on? I don't even know. 19, 20, 21 are the dates this year in July. Galactic, Eric Gales, Dwayne Dopsy, and the Zydeco Hellraisers.
Nearly Dead.
The Colin James, Digging Dirt, LaRonda Steele, The Record Company. Oh, LaRonda Steele and family. She's got a family that's very talented. Chris, and she's out of Portland. Really, really excellent vocalist. Chris O'Leary, Leon Timbo, Duffy Bishop, Too Slim and the Tail Draggers, and the Methau Juke Joint All-Stars. That's the lineup for Winthrop this year. And Acoustic Blues Festival in Port Townsend, my favorite. I will be there the 29th of July through the 4th of August, and I'll give you that lineup in future weeks. This weekend, it is the... you been to Leavenworth?
Yes.
It's beautiful there. They have a jazz festival this weekend, 10 through 12. And the Rolling Stones, they play the blues.
Oh, yes.
Joe Bonamassa opens up, and that'll be Wednesday, the 15th of May, my birthday.
Yes.
But I'd rather go to a Mariner game at this point.
Yes. Oh, go Mariners.
They're winning. They're almost always winning.
They're doing pretty good. It was kind of a slippery slope last week.
I think they're tired. They haven't had a night off
They
in
haven't
a
had
long
any
time.
time off,
And they've been playing so well. Okay, Sunbanks Blues Festival, an annual again, 16, 17, 18, 19. 4 nights at Grand Coulee, Washington. And Cedric Burnside has about 4 or 5 dates in the Northwest. One is at the Tractor Tavern in Ballard on the 23rd and the Wild Buffalo in Bellingham on the 24th. Also Portland and Bend and Vancouver. And Folklife, looking forward to Northwest Folklife Festival this year at the Seattle Center. Always an annual ritual. 54 years, I believe. I think I'm right on that one. May 24, 25, 26, 27. And then later in the month of May, Tedeschi Trucks do their Deuces Wild tour at the Paramount Theater, 27, 28. And Remlinger Farms got some good shows this summer, too.
Oh, yes?
Yeah. So we'll bring more calendar. And don't hesitate to make suggestions about guests, about bathroom reviews.
Yes.
Oh, we still didn't do that bathroom review. Let's do that to wrap up. That'll be our last segment. Now, I got to get my hair like that. I love Memphis Minnie's hair. Okay. So this is the Vermilion. And as you can see, there is graffiti, but it's nice mirror, one sink. You got your toiletries and your soap, and water pressure's good. I always check for water pressure. It's an odd thing to talk about on a blues show, but what the heck. Nice graffiti and 2 stalls, I believe. Did I get that right? Yeah, 2 stalls there at the Vermilion, and it's right on Capitol Hill. It's a gallery. It's an art gallery, and we had Bonnie McCoy there. And we'll have another bathroom view of where we went in Belfair at the Bent Bine with Bonnie. All B's. The bathroom, the Bent Bine. Anyway, I have so many pictures I couldn't do that with this one. Oh, yeah. Look at a fun graffiti.
Yes.
Kitten. That's a
Kitty
Capitol
cat
Hill
on the
for you. Kitty cat on the toilet.
Pretty talented person.
And whatever. Oh, potty language. I won't repeat that. But, yeah, some fun graffiti. That's what half the fun of a bathroom is graffiti.
Yes.
So, yeah, fix the floor, clean the floor, but leave the graffiti alone. All right, well, I think that's our show. I really appreciate you coming, Bunny. It was so much funner to do it with you.
Best place to be for Mother's Day with my
Yeah.
friend, doing something positive for people.
Yeah, and I'm going to play music today, like I said, at Nacho Mama's Fry Bread Cafe in honor of my mama. So if you want to join me, it's always funner to play with other people. And yeah, we'll do more bathroom reviews next week. I've got guests. Let's see. John Pinetree is going to be on my show. He's the guy, John Pinetree. He plays harmonica. His band is called the Yellin' Degenerates. Really fun band. I totally, not just the band name, but the band is really interesting and kind of jazzy. They opened for Diana Krall, which is a heavy-duty gig. So you got to know they're worthy of that. And so, yeah, I'm going to have him on the show. Going to have Rhea Rolfe, who has been involved with the Washington Blues Society. She's also a songwriter and has been right in the thick of the blues. So we're going to get some stories with her. So stay tuned. We are here every week at 1 o'clock at the Seattle Drum School, the lab, the little auditorium in the back. And once again, thank you, Chandler Dabbs, for being my engineer. I could not do this without you. Check out our old shows. And let's see. Once again, a shout out to Steve and Christy Smith here at the Seattle Drum School. And Christian Sadler, it's your birthday and you're not here. He's in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
Going to New Orleans.
yeah.
Gonna have
He's
a
having
wonderful
fun.
time.
They're
Yeah.
you know, Mother's
Eating
Day.
a
They're
little
dancing in the
crawfish,
streets,
yeah.
eating. Oh, I got some coming.
A little boudin.
I've got some boudin and I have some crawfish.
I knew it.
Yes, they're coming in Tuesday. Yes, my friend is flying in from Houston and she's bringing them on the plane.
Hand delivered. Oh,
Yes.
we like that.
She's
Okay.
like, "Do you want me to go on the plane with crawfish?" I said, "Yeah, do the Ellie Mae."
It sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, it is real music, real people, real stories. Living in blues until next week. Bye for now. Thank you again, Bunny, being my guest. That was awesome.